This is my M3 Max MacBook Pro. It cost me $3,600. And this is the new M5 Pro, Apple's cheapest MacBook Pro, and it costs almost half as much. So for the next few days, I'm doing something I've wanted to test properly for a long time. The M3 Max is going away and I'm using only this M5 Pro for everything. My work, my edits, my business, my life. And the timing is not great because I also have a real client project that needs to be finished this week. So the question is simple: with half the price, can this MacBook Pro get close enough to my M3 Max that paying double stops making sense? Pause the video right now and tell me in the comments, Team Max or Team Pro? Let's see who gets it right. Okay, this is day one and I'm keeping this simple on purpose. I've got the M5 Pro, my AirPods Pro, a power bank just in case, and a few other things I thought I might need. So the plan for today is admin work, research, emails, a bit of light video editing, the kind of stuff that fills most of a normal working day. And honestly, everything here is exactly what I expected. Fast, smooth, no drama whatsoever. The machine just disappears and you get on with your work. But the truth is, any MacBook does this. The Air does it, even the Neo does it, like without breaking a sweat. So this part doesn't prove anything yet. Okay, so time for an update, and the battery is at 50% after around 4 hours of work, which it sounds really great to me. So before I wrapped up for the night, I opened a project that is very similar in complexity and size to the client work I have to do, just to get a feel for it, and I didn't like it. I certainly didn't love it. So tomorrow this machine goes into my full studio setup. Same Thunderbolt 5 dock, same 5K display that pulls from the GPU constantly, same external SSDs, exactly the way I work in my M3 Max. No shortcuts, no lighter version of my workflow. And that's when we find out if this thing is actually enough. Here's a really cool thing. Can you see this? Like, I can turn the lights on, like all the lights on, just by using this. Very cheap and super practical. And I also got this really cool lamp from Govee, which you can turn on with your smartphone. And there you go. Cool, huh? So before I open a single project, I want to show you what these two machines look like on paper, because I think it's important to set expectations before the real work begins. So in single core, the M5 Pro clearly wins. Like, that's a meaningful jump. In multi-core, the M5 Pro wins again. And as you can see, this is not a small difference. This is like a really big jump. And in SSD, this one actually surprised me, because it's almost 3 times faster on read and nearly double on write. Like, the speed of these new SSDs are just absolutely amazing. Now, when it comes to GPU, this is where it flips. Metal score, the M3 Max pulls ahead, not by a lot, but it's there. And so on paper, this is generally competitive. In some areas, the M5 Pro is faster than my M3 Max. But here's what numbers don't tell you. What I'm used to with my M3 Max is Final Cut, better quality mode, 10-bit 422 S-Log3 footage, speed ramps, magnetic masks, multiple motion VFX layers, and it just doesn't stop. Like, I can open everything I want while I'm working in Final Cut. I'm talking multiple Safari tabs, email, notes, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever it is, I just open it and I don't even think about the computer. Plus, I add it straight from my OWC Thunderbolt drive, which is a Thunderbolt 4 drive. And I never hear the fans. The only time I hear them is during export. And that's my baseline, and that's what this machine has to live up today. And now I really need to get this thing done, so let's see how it goes. Okay, so this first phase was pretty straightforward. Pick intakes, speed ramps, magnetic masks, a few other things, and honestly, I'm impressed. The The Magnetic Max feels fast, like really fast. It might just be me, but I think this is actually quicker than my M3 Max on this. But now comes the heavy part. Multiple layers of motion blur effects, and this is where my M3 Max earns its price tag every single day. And just a quick reminder, this is the beaned version of the M5 Pro. And so I'm really curious and excited because if this thing can pull this off, oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I just finished editing this video and I'm speechless. What just happened here is absolutely insane. Because I had the M4 Pro, the base version of that chip, and it couldn't do this because I tested it and it couldn't handle this workflow. And today the base M5 Pro is going head to head with my M3 Max. Like, just insane. Just look at this. Almost 20 tabs open in Safari, Cloud AI, ChatGPT, email, Canva, activity monitor running, and the memory pressure is pushing hard, like sometimes 15 gigs of swap memory. The GPU is working and the timeline is running almost perfectly. A few stutters where the effect layers stack up, and of course if I turn on the motion blur layers, it hits hard. Those are some of the heaviest effects you can use in video. But it just keeps going. It's absolutely incredible. I still can scrub the playhead in real time, no lag, like it's insane. Now my M3 Max handles this a little bit better, and I want to be honest about that, but the gap is not what I expected. How in just over 2 years did the base Pro chip get this close to the Max? Just incredible. Like, I could use this machine for my work. That's how powerful this is. And that sentence took me a while to say out loud. Now, if I was configuring this from scratch, I would do one thing differently. I would bump to the 18 and 20 core chip and 48 gigs of RAM, because I'm almost certain that swap pressure disappears completely with that configuration. And it's still $800 cheaper than the M5 Max. So if your workflow looks anything like this, or maybe lighter, the M5 Pro is probably the best Pro chip Apple has ever made. It's just incredible. And see, this is the reason why I use Mac computers for work. The performance is just absolutely insane. Now there's just one more test, which is exporting, and I will compare it with my M3 Max. Although the M3 Max is probably faster, but still, let's see the difference. Okay, so I'm still processing the whole thing because, I mean, I knew that the M3 Max would be faster because it has two encode engines, but 10 seconds faster? I mean, the M5 Pro is just killing it, completely killing it. I don't know what else to say. Honestly, I don't know what else to say. But yeah, that's it for this video, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and I see you in the next one.